Hello, everybody. This is Van Hargis with Van Hargis Horsemanship. I appreciate you guys joining me today. Obviously, this is not the ranch road. This is me in my studio here at the ranch in my office, and I'm just going to bring to you guys a message today because it's been a while since we brought you an episode of the ranch road. And I want to say thank you to those who join us and who keep encouraging us to do more and more of these. And I apologize for us. It's being a while since our last one. Not that it's any excuse, but like a lot of you folks, we've been very busy. There's been a lot of differences going on of late, brought on by the coronavirus and all that comes with that, which kind of brings to me that topic today. I want to talk a little bit about the coronavirus and how that coronavirus thing has really become such a huge distraction and also something of great concern in our lives. But at the same time, keep in mind, I use the word distraction. And the reality is our life goes on. There's still lots of stuff that we do. There's lots of stuff that's been disrupted. But nonetheless, it doesn't change who we are, where we're going, what our goals are, and what's going to happen sometime in the future. You know, the reality is, too, that I joke around and tell everybody, you want to make God and horses laugh, just tell them your plan. So there's always these interruptions in our plans. But that doesn't necessarily mean that our goals and our plans are gone. It just simply means we have to make certain adjustments to those. But I also want to get folks to really focus on the things that you want in life and the things that you want even now and immediately, as opposed to being distracted by this big old thing that we're calling the coronavirus and all that comes with that at this day and time. And believe me, I'm not discounting the severity and all the consequences that could result from the coronavirus. I'm not discounting its importance in the least. I'm just simply saying and encouraging folks to just don't get caught up in all those distractions. And what I mean by distraction is this. In my opinion, it's just another cone in the arena. Now, what the heck does that mean? Well, those of you who've listened to me in the past, those of you who've listened to our podcast, and certainly those of you who've been to the ranch or been to any of our clinics, you may have seen me do what we call the cone exercise. And it's where I'll get people doing various exercises in the arena, and I'll mysteriously disappear for a moment. And when I do, I return back with a marker of some sort. It's usually like one of those highway cones, one of those orange highway cones. And I'll bring it in the arena, and I'll just kind of pick a random place, and I'll just drop it right there in the arena. And inevitably, when I excuse myself to go back to get my horse before coming back into the arena, as I return, it's inevitable that people will be around that cone. They'll be walking over, letting their horses smell of it. Some people even get off their horses and reach up and pick up the cone and show it to their horse, or they'll walk over and they'll kick it and they walk around it. In other words, the cone now becomes the primary focus of everything that was going on. In other words, they totally got distracted away from the exercises that I asked them to do, and they replaced that priority with the distraction. Okay. And then when I do come back in the arena and I discover that everybody's doing that, I'll kind of interrupt everybody for a moment. So wait a minute, why is everybody back around that cone? Go back and do the exercise that I asked you to do a little while ago. But now that the cone is in there, and obviously you've all noticed it, what I really want you to do is ride anywhere except for around the cone. No matter what you do, avoid the cone. Stay 10, 20, 15 feet away or whatever it is away from the cone. Just no matter what, don't get around the cone. So obviously the topic and the subject of the exercises now is what? The cone. Now, I do that for a reason, because as these people are doing their other exercises, such as walking or trotting circles and working on flexion or counter bending, in other words, whatever exercise that I had them doing before, even though they might be trying to do those exercises, the thing that's planted deeply in the back of their mind is the cone. Well, because of that, I'll hear stuff like, oh my goodness, Mr. Van, I wished you wouldn't have brought that cone in here. Now I can't keep my horse away from the cone. The cone, the cone, the cone. In other words, now the cone has become the subject and the topic of everybody's thoughts. Then what they're getting more of is they're getting more of, you guessed it, the cone. So really the cone, in my opinion, becomes symbolic. You see, because the reality, if they're riding in, say, let's say 100 by 200 foot arena, that's 20,000 square foot of area to ride. 20,000 square foot of area inside a 100 by 200 foot arena that they can ride around. But yet they're focusing on that 1 square foot in which the cone occupies. They're focusing on what they don't want. They're focusing on the distraction. They're focusing on the one thing that's the obstruction as to all their opportunities, okay? it's not just symbolic. It is so true that we get in life what we focus on. So please, what I'm saying in these very challenging times, these times that are very challenging to us individually, to our nation, even globally, don't get distracted by the cone. As difficult as it is to give the coronavirus its due, in other words, we know it's there, we know it exists, but what I'm saying is focus more on the things that you want in life instead of that one negative thing that you don't want in life, or all the things that come with it. In other words, we don't want the virus, but we also don't want the economic downturn. We don't want all the other ramifications that come with that distraction of the cone. The reality is, no matter how tough times get, we are surrounded by tons more blessings than we are those challenges. And I don't ever mean to discount that the challenges aren't real and they're not sometimes pretty darn challenging. They're going to challenge us. They're going to really, test our strength and test our fortitude. But the reality is, if we focus more on what we want in life, we focus on the goals that we really want for ourselves and for our families, and we focus on all the blessings that surround us, chances are we will be blessed. We will find ourselves getting more of those things and appreciating more of those things, because that's where our thoughts and that's where our energies are geared. And that's one thing I'd like to encourage you guys today. And I'm not discounting the coronavirus and all that comes with it. I'm just saying, don't let those things and don't let the media and all those other negative stuff that's going on out there distract you from all the really cool things that are going on in your lives and all the great blessings that surround us always. So I just really hope that little tidbit helps you guys. And for those of you who are always curious, what are we doing here at the ranch, doing with this social quarantining or whatever you want to call it? Well, really, obviously, here at the ranch, not much has changed. We're still riding horses and we're still entertaining our guests. And we're just being a little bit more careful, a little bit more prayerful about it. Until next time, this is Van Hargis with Van Hargis Horsemanship. Don't get distracted. Stay focused on what you want. Until next time, ride every stride.